Hey guys, Valtoris the Awoken here. So for today's video, what if Rock Lee was the main protagonist of Naruto? Now we all know that Rock Lee and Naruto are similar in some ways, where both of them had hard times as children. But the other big difference was Naruto had a clan that was disbanded and his family killed him one night by the Nine-Tailed Fox. As for Rock Lee, his family is unknown and he couldn't perform jutsus like fire style or water style type of jutsus, thus making Rock Lee work even harder to achieve his goals. The story would be Rock Lee, Neji, and Tenten, and it would be them on missions, together. And I would say that it would have been Might Guy versus Zabuza and Rock Lee and Neji against Haku. Now we all remember that both Naruto and Sasuke struggled against Haku, forcing Naruto to use the Nine Tails for the first time, almost killing Haku in the process. But in this case, Rock Lee and Neji wouldn't have had that problem, as both men was very and highly skilled and would have easily bodied Haku. And same for Might God for Zabuza. It wouldn't have been a problem for them. Now I would say for the Gaara versus Rock Lee fight, that probably wouldn't have happened, but instead it probably would have been Gaara versus Choji. And for the Chunin finals, I probably would have said it would have been Neji versus Naruto, right? And Rock Lee versus Sasuke. And yeah, that would have been that. And I guess probably Shikamaru versus Gaara. Rock Lee would have been a great protagonist and stuff, because how I've seen it would have been that way. Gaara probably would have been fighting Choji, right? Gaara would have messed up Choji and shit, and then Shikamaru probably would have tried to get some sort of payback and vengeance against him in the Chunin finals. So I think that's probably how I would have seen it. But yeah, I think Rock Lee probably would have made like a great protagonist and stuff. Because seeing how, because you remember how seeing him in Shippuden, that he didn't get enough airtime, and the main focus the main focus was about Naruto bringing Sasuke back to the village, right? And Sasuke getting revenge against Itachi. But then later on, Madara, because we all know that Neji shouldn't have died in the war, because there was so much that could have been done with his character, and it should have been Rock Lee to show Neji the way besides Naruto when they had their first fight back at the exams. As I would have said that to spice things up in this what if story, also Rock Lee would have learned Sage Mode. Now yes, I know some of y'all would say Rock Lee wouldn't need it because he has 8 gates. Sure, that's true and all, but he can only use 7 gates. He can't use the 8th gate because he'll die. And I would say if he was to learn Sage Mode, sure, he can't do any ninjutsu or any genjutsu, but if he was to combine Sage Mode and 8 gates, I think Rock Lee would be one of the strongest people in Naruto. I'll say this: if it was possible, that it would have been Rock Lee, Neji, and Tenten fighting up against Madara and the supporting cast of Naruto and Sasuke. So I'll say Rock Lee, like I said, Rock Lee is one of my favorite characters in all of Naruto. It was just insane to see Might Guy use all of his 8 gates against Madara and almost died. But for Rock Lee to have Sage Mode plus using 8 gates, not all the 8 gates, but just a few gates to fight Madara, and with Neji possibly getting the Tetsugan, like come on now. I know that's not possible, but come on now, wouldn't that be busted? And also Naruto would have been that overpowered kid in the village because of 2 things. One, because he's a descendant of the Senju clan, which gives them insane amounts of chakra, and 2, he has the Nine Tails. Don't you think he's already powerful? Given how everyone in the village had to work to get to where they wanted to be in their respective lives. And to finish it out, Rock Lee, Neji, and Tenten versus the Pains would have been extremely tough. And I would say it would cause Rock Lee to possibly use all of the 7 gates, but not the 8th gate. And Rock Lee would have been the one to convince Nagato to bring everyone back to life, as he would have been the bridge. He would have been the one to build the bridge to peace. And And like I said, for a guy who can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu, will be the one to fix everything. And when you think about it, Rock Lee is like Asta, but just cooler and less screamier. Cause you know how when you see like Black Clover, right? And you see how like Asta doesn't really have any magic, but he has like two, I guess you can say he got that demon in him, right? You know, you can say that. But when you look at Rock Lee, he's a man with no ninjutsu. He can't do genjutsu. He only has taijutsu. That's all he has. He has his fists, his kicks, and his 8 gates. That's all he got. So if you was to think that this man was to actually be like, you know, the main protagonist of Naruto, it would be insane. All of this would actually be insane because it's just him, right, with his fists and everything, while everyone else is doing these crazy types of jutsu. This man only has his fists, his kicks, and his 8 gates. That's all he got. So I would have said that even if he has all of this, he probably still would have been able to get the job done in most scenarios and stuff. Because when Might Guy fought Madara for the first time, Madara was impressed by Might Guy. He was like, yo, hold up here, like you're the second person towards Hashirama that I've liked, and he honored him to be like, you're the person who used taijutsu to this level. You've impressed me. And he, you know how Madara is, how he be catching erections on the battlefield. So that's how he was with Might Guy. And I was like, yeah, if Rock Lee would have had that same potential, he would have been like a mega hitter. Because it's sad to see him an underrated guy in Naruto. Like, yeah, like I said before, it was only just Naruto trying to bring back Sasuke to the village, and the Sasuke getting revenge against Itachi. And then later on, you had the Akatsuki show up to try to claim all the Tail Beasts and all this other crazy stuff that happened. But Rock Lee, he was doing stuff, but it wasn't a lot, you know. It wasn't very impactful like how Might Guy was towards the end, where he used all 8 gates. Because frankly, we never thought we was going to see full on 8 gates, and I thought maybe the closest way we would have seen it was when the Pain showed up, right? And maybe Might Guy would have done something there, but we never seen any of that. We've seen it towards the end where he fought against Madara and he almost took out Madara, but at the same time he almost took out himself thanks to Naruto saving him. So I would have said that maybe if if it was like that, like if the Sage Path would have been in him, right? So not only he would have had Sage mode, but also using like some of the 8 gates would have been insane. If it was possible, you know, if it was possible, like if you could have done that, boy, yo, who gonna stop him? Because if anybody would have thought, like throughout the entire series, that yeah, taijutsu is a great skill, and when you use the 8 gates, it's a power boost, and it can get the job done at sometimes. Because when you've seen Might Guy versus Kizume, and I believe he used 6 gates on him, because it wasn't, I don't believe it was 7. Can't remember if it was 7. I think it was 6 gates that he used on him, and he was like, this is insane. This is crazy. And then the fight where Madara versus Might Guy, and Might Guy used 7 gates on him, and he was like, whoa, you kind of crazy, but you need to up it up a bit. I know you got some more up your sleeve. And then he used full on 8 gates, and it was murder. It was murder at this point. So it's like, yeah, I felt that Rock Lee should have had this. I felt like he should have had this, not later on or not during the Boruto era. No, he should have had this now. That way everybody could recognize him and see that it was Rock Lee there and stuff. And so when the war would have happened, like I said before, Neji wouldn't have died. Some random low life ninja would have died. You know, nobody important would have died. It would have been some low, like maybe the ninja that asked out Sakura. Yeah, that ninja who's he confessed his love. His ass would have died. Like he just would have been some random ninja that just got popped, right, with a nail. So, you know, I think that should have been, Neji should have lived, right? So that way we probably would have seen the full fight between Neji versus Lee, right? And yeah, it probably would have been insane. But unfortunately, we aren't going to get that. But yeah, you know, if you like what you heard you like, you know, please subscribe, share, do all that wonderful stuff, and I'll catch you later.